for you? Bell, does this make 20 bells for you? 20?
I think so. It's a whole show.
Okay.
I've been ringing for 20 years.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Okay, Saturday, December 20th, we have Val Bozek and Farah, Azid, Farah's not here. I'm sure she'll get her bell later. And then Ivan Lemus and his family. Ivan, thank you. Ivan brought the whole family. His wife Nicole and son and son. On, then we have Al's, Al's here, but Donna Oriano, another one who's 70. Y'all know that it's just very special when people are willing to work. And then, well, Carol Boyer and Monica Soto from the Irving Convention Visitors Bureau are not with us today. They stepped in when we really need them to wind up the last group. So thank you very much. Well, thank you for being here today.
All right.
Thank you to everybody who rang the bells, and once again to Patty for coordinating.
Great job, Patty. You're Patty.
The past President's Council met this morning, and they are implementing orientation days for anyone who has not been through orientation as a Rotary member or wants to refresh it. The first one is going to be in 2 weeks on February 26th at 10:30. So at that time, you'll get to learn everything there is to know about Rotary, how to progress, how to, if you're interested in some leadership positions, it would just be a really good thing for any of you that would like to come. Along that same lines, I need to let y'all know, the board has voted to change banks. So we were in Veritex Bank and they have merged with Huntington. And we've had some issues through that merger, and we're going to switch to Frost Bank. If anybody wants to talk about that, I'll be available after the meeting to chat about it. Frost is a member of our club, so we thought that was a good fit, and it's really good rates and whatnot. So happy to discuss it with anybody that needs to discuss it. There will be no meeting next week. The club needs this room, so we are not meeting next week. We've had a couple of, so we talked about Salvation Army Service Project. We also last week had opportunity to help some students at Singley Academy who were interviewing for the first time, doing mock interviews as they were 10th graders, as they're going out to do job interviews, college interviews, whatever they have in their future. They asked members of the community to come in and do mock interviews with them. So Ivan was one of the ones that volunteered. Do you want to share a few thoughts on how that went?
It was a pleasure to meet the students. And I have to say, my takeaway ultimately was I saw a spark. I saw a spark in each one of them, their eyes. They were excited about their future. They really know the direction to go in the future, but they had a passion about what they were studying and who they were grasping at those roots. And I think one of the recommendations from school is I think they do need to have some form of support, mentorship to be able to navigate them into the industries that they're describing, but they don't know what they're describing. So it's a really enlightening day for me. An opportunity to look at what the community is producing. Very smart kids, and this was they weren't chosen because they were on the honor roll, B roll. They were first period and fifth period. So there's 40 children for each period, if you will, but majority of them were all honor students, and all walks of life, and they all had vision and very intelligent conversations. It showed me what leadership needs to look like for the youth, and it is some guidance. They need guidance. They're achieving what you put in front of them. The one young man shared with me, I was trying to pull information out of him. And I looked at him and said, well, Kumani worked really hard. And he kind of looked at me with a confused look. And I looked at him and said, that's an amazing accomplishment. Just smiled, shrugged his shoulders. I said, well, how'd that come about? And he said, I just decided I wanted to. And I said, you just decided that you wanted to. Amazing. What else would you do if you just decided that you wanted to do that? What other class would be your life? He just paused for a minute. Now I realized what he wasn't saying, but what he wasn't being a child. And I said, you know what? Challenge it to me. Competition is fine, but when you challenge, you grow. Sure, it's not offensive, but you want it. It's more difficult course. You want to be challenged. He was bored, but he decided to come from line. So that's the level of intelligence we have in our schools that these minds that we look up, supporting the build out of new facilities and CTE programs. You know, we're investing in these leadership for the future. So it was probably an great experience for me as it was for everybody.
So one more kind of a service project, Val happened to be at a Rotary event and, a past district governor was there. A business had gone out of business and this past, correct me if I get any of this wrong, but the past district governor had, gotten a whole bunch of socks. So Val, in her infinite wisdom, said, what can we do with these socks as Rotary Club? And of course, Jordan came to mind. So Jordan, come on up. Woo, we have 677 pairs of socks. This is only one small box. Val has the rest of the car that we would like to donate to your organization. And you want to say a word about what your organization does? Anybody that doesn't know?
So I'm a steward, cleanup, and some cleanup transforms. We transform school buses into mobile environments and serve the community. We actually just got a new one today that was donated to us. It'll be a closet. The server actually vaccine. Hopefully we'll be able to come by and see the thing with it. In a couple of weeks when it's done. But these socks are big. You know, we try to hand out everywhere we go, 2 pairs of socks, no matter what. To anybody who sends you the awesome.
But help. And we are, as you know, we've done, one of our meetings at Irving Cares, we did one at the fire station. We're trying to get out into the community that we're supporting to see their work in action, and we will be going to Jordan's, May 21st. So keep that in mind. Okay. We went through that really quick. Oh,
If you don't make an announcement.
yes.
I want to bring to everyone's attention. There's a community organization called the Urban Hispanic Community Forum. It's been established about 38 years here in Irving. And it's just a session of citizens. And they get together and talk. It's on Wednesday. Dr. Garcia has invited me to a number of her behavioral health programs over in Dallas and other things. And they're really, really informative and supportive. And so, and one of the takeaways I had when I was asked, what do you think? I was impressed. I was impressed with the connect. They're connected. They know who's coming through, how to help support them, where they go next, who offers what services and who doesn't offer what services. So then I was asked, well, what do you think about our community? And I thought we have an ecosystem, but it is not as connected in my opinion. They have to be specialized in this. I have to say, maybe I think they do. So what I'm getting to is that the decision was, let's put on all community health, behavioral health proposal. The focus is to bring awareness to each other of who we are here, how we help, what services we can provide for those that are challenged with cognitive health. Legislation now recognizes this to be a medical condition. And in the past, it was something most people didn't common. So on February 21st, this month, we're hosting the first open community support symposium at the Mankin Hernandez Institute of Wellness and Adult Learning. So we have no guests, we have Dr. Bears, we have other city of Irving participants, other active participants. We have a number of vendors, but y'all haven't spoken with you, but y'all don't have an exhibit there. So this is there's no fee, there's no charge for vendors. We just want to bring awareness to each other and awareness to the call for the mission, because it becomes a generational challenge in our community. So hope y'all can attend. It's free. It's 10 to 2 o'clock on Saturday, September 21st. I'll give you the flyer, there's a registration, we're required to register, or you are required to register because it's a school facility, and they have to know who's coming in, so you can register online, you only have room for 200 total. That's the fire code mark. I just want to bring that to everyone's attention, the information gathering and community led support. Thank you.
One more announcement, Patty has an announcement before we get started.
Real quick, February 1st, we sent out the renewal notices for the flags. And I understand it's gone real well. We did talk today. We're invited to a HOA meeting. They're going to have a round table, and we will have a table at this event where they are inviting all the HOAs to come and talk about things that they talk about. And anyway, so we will need some volunteers March the 10th. And I don't know if it's in the morning or afternoon or evening. I have a feeling it might be in the evening since these people might work. Anyway, March 10th, mark it on your calendar.
Is that at City Hall? Is it going to be?
No, it's a Tupman building.
Oh,
Okay, without further ado, today we have a very special speaker. Vanessa Mankin is with Rescue Hill, and they work with victims of sex trafficking. So she's going to come up and share how they are helping these people.
Afternoon, and thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate the invitation to be here. As Laura said, my name is, can you hear me? Okay. My name is Vanessa Mankin, and I am here representing Rescue Hill. We are a faith-based anti-trafficking organization. We have offices in Tarrant County, and we have a residential facility, our safe house that's here in Dallas County. I am a fairly new employee for Rescue Hill, but I've been a volunteer with them for 3 years now. I love what was going on. I kept showing up, going back again and again. And finally, I worked up the nerve for a job, and thankfully they gave me one, because otherwise it would have been embarrassing moving forward. But I love what we do. I am a wife, a mother of 4, and most importantly, I am a follower of Christ. And we at Rescue Hill believe that God's heart is rescue, and that is central to the gospel. And so I just feel so grateful to get to join in that mission and that work. Okay. So we're going to jump right in. I don't ever start this way to condescend in any way, but I want to make sure that we're kind of on the same page and level set about what human trafficking is and what we're talking about. And I also want to share a little bit about what's going on right here in our community of Metroplex. So human trafficking is defined by U.S. law as the use of fraud, force, and or coercion to compel a person into commercial sex acts, labors, or services against his or her will. I want to be sure to point out that victims of human trafficking can be found in both illegal and legal industries. These include escort services, illicit massage services, prostitution, outdoor sales, solicitation, residential brothels, bars and strip clubs, and pornography production, and online ads and solicitation. Now, I want to remind you guys that in our country, the production of pornography and bars and strip clubs are not illegal by any measure. But unfortunately, within these legal businesses are people using fraud or coercion to then exploit individuals and compel them into commercial sex acts. So here are some of the local statistics. Okay, so as you can see, more than 85K commercial sex advertisements are posted in DFW every month. It's insane. And we also know that there are more illicit massage parlors in DFW than there are Starbucks.
Okay.
So I share this to remind us that this is not a somewhere else kind of problem. It's not something in the movies. This is something that's happening in our backyard. And sex is a commodity, and being coerced and forced into sex for the sake of this commoditization is our actual reality. So who are most vulnerable in to being trafficked? We work closely, we'll talk about this more, but we work closely with Homeland Security investigations here in Las Colinas. And I recently heard someone, a special agent from there, give a talk, and he was reminding the audience that those who were trafficked didn't wind up there because they were swiped out of a Walmart parking lot or because they had an air tag placed on them. These are just kind of dramatic stories that you maybe hear in an email forward or something like that. But what really happens, the majority, the vast majority, like 99% of those who become victims of sexual exploitation and trafficking enter into it because of their vulnerability to fraud, force, and coercion. And some of the factors, these are some of the factors that cause them to be vulnerable to that kind of manipulation. Poverty, foster care, 50% of our clients that we see were at one point in the foster care system. Racial or ethnic minorities, severe mental illness, addiction, friendly. You can see all this listed here. I don't need to read that for you. But they might be entering into what they think is a relationship with a man who is making grand promises only to have that then twisted into a much darker reality. Or they might be dancing at a club on a weekend to make some extra money only to then be forced financially into some much darker scenarios. So I want to remind everybody that there is no specific demographic that sex trafficking is exclusive to. It spans all of them. Of course, there are those who are more vulnerable to it, but it is not exclusive to any one demographic. We do that in our clientele. So now we've got that heavy hard stuff out of the way. Let's talk about who Rescue Hill is and what we do. Our mission is to provide safe spaces and innovative options for survivors of human trafficking. We were founded in 2020, and at that time we opened up emergency beds. So that's placement for 24 to 48 hours. And a few years later, we then have the opportunity to open up a residential home, which we did. We have 3 efforts at Rescue Hill. I'm going to back up one. We first and foremost, our 3 efforts are advocacy, our residential facility, which is called Starlet House, and our partnership with law enforcement and Homeland Security. This last year, 2025, we were afforded the opportunity to hire 2 advocates, which is huge. These are the workers who are boots on the ground, going out into the street, going out into clubs, to make contact with victims, to provide them with information about how they can get out of those situations. These are our advocates are phone texting, maintaining relationships with survivors to help change their situation. That was huge. Just to give you guys kind of a scope, we saw that there were 85,000 sex ads being posted monthly in DFW. So for Dallas County right now, there are 8 advocates total, and we have 2 of them. So up until last year, there were only 6. And this is a massive problem. So that was a huge win for us, and we believe for the city to continue to grow that force. Now, we also partner with local law enforcement. We work closely with APD, DPD, Department of Homeland Security. We get, because of the endemic levels of this issue, regularly there are sting operations that occur. And when the law enforcement goes out, SWAT teams go out to perform these sting operations, their job is to enforce the law and to provide safety. But then the afterward, that's not their job. That's just not their specialty. But that's where we get to step in, and we get to meet with survivors, show them what their options are, and help educate them about what possibilities are next for them. And then Starlet House, our residential home. So we talked about how we had an emergency placement, or we had emergency beds of 24 to 48 hours, which is a very important, that's that emergent triage, getting victims out of where they are and putting them in a safe environment. That's an important step. But as our founder got more, where she learned that there's emergency placements and then there's long-term placements, 1 to 2, maybe 3 years at times, where women could go and seek deeper healing and seek financial independence and, just, get to where they need to be to then proceed in life. But what was missing was kind of this in-between piece. I can't make a good decision long-term of 3 years of my life in a couple weeks' time. Never mind, individuals who have just exited a sexually exploitative situation, a traumatic situation, asking them to make that decision in 1 day or 2 days seems cruel in some ways. But what Starla House does, what we do at Rescue Hill, is we provide a 30 to 90-day program. It's called a stabilization program. We allow women to come and breathe, catch their breath, learn to sleep at night and stay awake during the day. We provide dental, medical, mental health care. We involve them in all of these decisions to help restore to them a sense of autonomy and dignity that each human innately has. So another really special thing about Starla House is that as women are leaving their situations, oftentimes they are asked to make the decision, do I want to go get help or do I want to continue to mother my children? And they have to make a choice to maybe relinquish custody of their children. So at Rescue Hill and at Starla House, that decision doesn't have to be made for mothers of children 0 to 5 years old, that they don't have to make that parting of ways. We're one of just a few stabilization homes in the whole nation who will accept pregnant mothers or mothers of little ones. Come on, let's go. Let's start this healing together. And we have had the joy of having babies in our home, which is pretty amazing. Let's see. Wasn't keeping track of it. Oh yeah, you can just kind of pursue. These are just some images of the home, and we've been blessed and gifted with a beautiful facility. These are the elements of what we do while the women are at Rescue Hill at Starla House. We first and foremost want to make sure that they feel safe, that they know that they're in a secure environment, that they know that there are security cameras or we let them know down to the wire what's going on. You are safe. Nobody can find you here. You're okay. That's very important to us because for a lot of them, they haven't felt safety in a very long time. We also provide them with choices, a lot of choices. A lot of them have not had a lot of choices in any aspect of their life for a very long time. So we want to, as I said before, we want to reinstill that sense of autonomy to them and remind them that they are worth making choices about their lives. They are fully formed adult women who should have the ability to make choices about their lives. We collaborate with each survivor as they plan and make decisions about their care and their next steps, about their health care. And we work hard to be seen as trustworthy people. They've been let down and lied to and over and over and over again, many times for many of these individuals from the time they were born, unfortunately. So we hope to be a stepping stone to show that everybody is here for you. And we really hope to send the women out what they truly hope they feel as they go. So in 2025, we served 18 women and 4 babies. We made 90+ crisis responses. We witnessed the baptisms of 3 women. We saw 61% of our clients go on to choose long-term care, which is huge. That's a pretty, I don't have any shame. It's a really great statistic. That's just, we're doing well with that. We're really proud of that. Those who did not choose long-term care, we continue to our advocates and our long-term, our aftercare specialists works with them. So nobody's just picked out of the nest and forgotten. We maintain relationships with our former clients and make sure that they know where to see. I just got to see one last night and see her new apartment. This is an ongoing relationship that we have with our clients. So these are numbers that we're proud of. Like I said, unabashedly, we're very proud of these. And there's a lot that goes unseen. We can't publish on a screen or send out in the mailer. There's so many fantastic relationships formed and so much growth that we get to see. And we're very proud of those things too. So this is a really big issue. I don't ever want to gloss. I am comfortable and I regularly speak about these kinds of things, but I don't want to gloss over the fact that this is heavy subject material. It's dark subject material. I don't want to come in and give a cute little talk and pretend like it's not, because it is. It can feel daunting. It can feel overwhelming. But we believe, not but, and we believe that we serve a really big God, and He's called us to partner with Him in this work. And He has empowered us and put us in spaces with people who do such good work. I'd love to hear about what y'all will do. So I don't want this to end on a hopeless note. There is a lot of hope that we see at Rescueville, and we continue to see that. So if you are interested, if this has kind of sparked anything in you, if this is something maybe you've been curious about, if there's any questions I can answer, or if you're curious about how you can partner with us, I have lots of ideas. I would love to share them with you. So thank you so much. Yes.
Okay, practical question. So if we encounter someone in the community that is involved in sex trafficking and would like to get out, what's the first step?
Yeah, the first step would be to call Irving PD. I mean, local PD, they're very well trained in these methods. There's I can also provide you with a hotline number. I have one saved in my phone if you would like to program that into your phone. But our Dallas County PDs are very well and becoming more and more so informed in this matter and handle it pretty beautifully. Yeah, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any ideas on time frame or the feeling of safety once they actually enter into? I mean, I'm sure that it's got to be a while before their fences are down.
Yeah, of course that varies individual to individual. I mean, I was on a schedule, well, I've been on a schedule as long as I've been volunteering going on Friday mornings. And so from one Friday to the next, I've definitely seen in 1 week's time women who are not making eye contact, closed off, laughing in 1 week's time. But then there are others who are there the full 90 days. And you never really see a whole lot of alteration. So it's really an individualized process. Yes, sir.
For those that have been rescued and you talk about security cameras and so forth, are y'all under threat a lot, like for those that are controlling these?
No, we're not. We really aren't. It's not and that's something I like to share with volunteers. You're not in danger when you go to our house to spend time with our survivors. For traffickers, it's not worth the effort to go after. It's not worth the risk for them financially or legally. It's not worth the risk for them. That they would probably incur some kind of, adjudication, some sort of, there would be ramifications for them if they were to chase down any and all escapees from it. So it's not usually worth that. But it is more a means of providing felt safety for each woman in the house.
And one second question, if I could. I recognize you focus on the female. There's male that are involved in this trafficking as well. Where does these young men or men go to?
There are organizations in the Metroplex who provide that. There's one specific organization whose name is escaping me right now. But we have to kind of find our niche. And like I said, we provide care for children 0 to 5. And that's been a learning process for us. That's what we will be our best equipped to care for right now. Our home can provide space for up to 6 women. That's also been a learning process. What is our sweet spot? What kind of, who our staff can serve. So there are places for men to receive services. And yes, that's unfortunately, it's not just women.
And I want to share, I know that she put up that stat, for many of y'all know, I sit on the board of All Things Made New. So it's a nonprofit program here that got started because of teen pregnancy. But their last physical location was on West Fifth Street and Story, the intersection, which was a building that was on the property of a church. It was that they were renting a spot from a church. Well, there was identified, there were kids being sex trafficked across the street from a church, from a nonprofit. So it was that close to a program that's there for the community that you point 85,000 at times is closer than you think to you. And we don't see it because to the point about the meeting on the 21st, recognizing, because there's signs out there that we need to be more knowledgeable about recognizing when we see a child or someone in that environment, because a lot of times they're scared to make a comment about it and threat that something worse would happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a business. It's a supply and demand business. Traffickers aren't interested in humans. They're interested in the bottom dollar. And as long as there is a demand and as long as there are people purchasing for that demand, be it over the internet or in person, there's going to continue to unfortunately be a supply. My teenage son's 8 to see me come in with this information, y'all. But I don't mind educating them about it. Yes, ma'am.
So you serve women 18 and up?
18 to 45.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good information, great presentation. 2 questions. Could you talk about how you're involved or overlap with what Dallas County's doing? Because I know Dr. Elba Garcia has spoken. I've heard her talk about this issue and what goes on in certain areas. First question there. Second question is, just don't shy away. What type of budget do you have? What type of funding? Is it local, state, federal? How do you get your money to operate? 2 questions.
Yes, I appreciate this. So I'm not familiar with the gal that you mentioned, but as far as Dallas County goes, like I said, we partner with Dallas PD. We go with them on the sting operations ready to receive any survivors extracted and offer them services, offer them immediate clothes, food, toiletries as needed, and then to maintain contact with them after the fact. And we also provide support for the PDs that we work with as well. As far as budget goes, we don't receive any governmental federal support at all. We have just a couple of grants that are provided locally. And then we just work with individual donors and some churches as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Great question. Seriously, best questions I've received so far. Thank you all.
Vanessa, thank you so much for being here. We know this is a much bigger problem than people even realize, and so it's great to have the services in our county. As we close, don't forget there's not a meeting next week, so do not show up next week. There is one the following week on the 26th. We will have the orientation before that at 10:30. Immediately following the meeting is a quick board meeting. Tomorrow is Canine Companions graduation.
All right.
If you haven't been to one, you need to come. It's the day that the dogs are matched with their forever people and the volunteer puppy raiser comes back and reunites with them, then hands over the leash. It's very touching, but lots of happy tears. If you want to go, tell me and I'll save you a seat because it gets kind of crowded. And other than that's tomorrow at noon at the training facility. And happy Valentine's Day. Rick?
Thank you, Madam President. 2 things. We sent out an email about the flags. The first month, we've had 919 folks subscribe and order their flags. Yeah, y'all do a round of applause. That's 60% of what we normally have of that 1,532. I'm very pleased, very happy Chala puts, if you got yours, you read it, but she really played on the 250-year anniversary. And I think you'll see the city of Irving. I talked to Joe Moses. Of course, they're going to do a super job on July 4th. And he asked again if Rotary would place flags at Levy Plaza, which is the centerpiece to what we do right down the street from your house, Brian. So we're going to do some things there like we did last year. And of course, the meeting we had this morning, talking with Bill, we got a great inventory. We're expecting each team to increase by 10 or 15 or 20%. I talked to Ivan. I think he said he's going to increase his by X. I'm not sure what that is, but it could be a bunch. But he's got some great ideas. No, so flag program is often rolling extremely well. Second thing, if you want to celebrate, get some exercise, perhaps get wet. Saturday morning, Laz has his Love on the Run. I always want to say Love on the Rocks, but that's tough. No, Love on the Run. We're going to start at 8:30. We're going to have a half marathon. We're going to have a 10K, a 5K. It's going to be wet. Yes, I'm wearing Gore-Tex. Yes, I'll be on stage. Yes, we'll have fun. Yes, we'll hand out awards. Yes, we'll have trophies. Yes, we'll have food. You can come enjoy all of the event, get the VIP deal, go to Reservoir. The chef makes an amazing breakfast buffet type thing. And you can have whatever you'd like to celebrate. Good way to celebrate Valentine's Day. Support Laz. It's going to be a great race. He's already got like 3,000 people. Brian, I expect to see you and Angela out there. Angela leading, I get it. And Robert, Bob Bourgeois will be there, and the ICB team will be there. Shane will be there running in his. Please wear briefs this time. Yeah, if you wear your kid. Okay, good. Anyway, thank you. A lot of things going on.
Thank you. Great job on the flags.
Thank you.
I wanted to share one strategy. Enzo wanted me to share how we're going to increase our numbers by 20% as our goal. So we have these little cards that we can put out that people can scan and register. So what we're going to do is we're going to tackle the house in front and beside, adjacent to that flag where we're delivering and across the street. So that gives us 4 for every flag that we are putting in, which on a 50 rack flat, you get extra 200 people we make contact with. Hopefully we get 10%, et cetera. So that's his strategy. He wanted me to let y'all know that we're going to try that strategy and see if it works. If y'all have another way, let us know when.
I love it.
That's Enzo.
There you go.
Enzo, how old is Enzo? 8.
8 years old, our junior Rotary.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, any other announcements? All right, then please stand so Buddy can lead us in the Port of Wayne 10.
Buddy.
Okay, Rotarians, time to rest, recite the 4-week test of the things we think, say, or do. First.
Is it true?
Second.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third.
Will it be good, better for each other?
Fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
It is.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Here, we're having a nice day.